Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Quivs here. Quivs does stuff. I have a confession to make. This should actually be Let's Play Terraria episode 7, because I recorded an episode 6 and somehow managed to lose the original file. I was trying some new editing software. Previously, I've just been using Windows Photo Editor, which, while reasonable, doesn't have the greatest control over the output of the video. As a result, I didn't like what the new editing software did, and I deleted what I thought was just the project, but like an idiot, I deleted the original source file as well. So there's an entire hour's worth of episode that is completely missing. This is problematic because I actually had a really productive Let's Play. I keep saying we, the royal we, let's call it that. Anyway, in the episode that was missing, I managed to create an artificial crimson biome wherein I fought the Brain of Cthulhu successfully. Before I created the biome, actually while I was gathering the resources for the biome, a meteor landed, and I went looking for the meteor, gathered all the meteorite that I needed to create enough meteorite bars for a full set of meteor armor and a space gun. Ooh, mythical space gun. I didn't realize it had such good modifiers as well. Pretty good modifiers on that. Almost as good as the godly ice blade. Anyway, so I've already killed the Brain of Cthulhu, and you didn't get to see it. So in this episode, what I think I'll have to do, and I'm just going to make a short one today. Today is actually Easter Sunday, but since everybody is staying at home, I don't have much else to do. So this is the artificial biome I created for Crimson. So a quick run through of how this is done. I make it off the ground so that it can't spread. It uses, at the bottom, just a single layer of crimstone. Put the layer of dirt in, because as you can see, if you put some crimson seeds on this dirt, you can actually grow some vicious mushrooms, which is good if you want to farm the boss, because you need those to make vicious powder, combined with vertebrae. Add an altar, lets you create bloody spines. You can see I still have 4 bloody spines left. To create an artificial biome, I think you need 200 blocks, it might be more, within a small area. And once you have those 200 blocks, it will actually convert to the biome that the blocks are from. I don't know how that goes for jungle. For jungle, I think you really have to do it with jungle grass. Anyway, so by making 2 thick walls, you can go right to the edges of this little box without leaving the biome, which is important because if you intend to fight the boss in here, if you go to the edges of this box, you don't want to actually leave the biome because then the boss will leave. We put a campfire in there for the small amount of passive health regeneration it gives. It's not major, and with the meteorite armor and the space gun, it turns out that doing this boss was super simples, very easy. So, you missed me fighting the boss, so I might fight the boss again right now, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll go as well as it did last time. It took me about 40-50 seconds with this equipment set. I really do recommend for your first serious attempt at the boss doing it this way. Break 3 crimson hearts, wait for a meteor to land, go and collect meteorite, get your meteor armor and a space gun. Really makes this boss super easy. Of course, once you break 3 crimson hearts, you will summon the boss, and you will be stuck within the crimson, the naturally spawned crimson, in his realm, which is a very hard place to fight him, even if you've prepped. You'll have seen in a previous video where I attempted it, we pretty much immediately got wiped because of his teleporting ability. He kind of got me blocked into an area, and I couldn't even get to my arena. Also, I wasn't very well geared. I had mismatching armor. I had 2 pieces of iron and 1 piece of lead. And the only ranged weapon I had, I believe, was the artery and a boomerang, or this godly ice blade, which isn't bad. You could possibly do him with a godly ice blade, but without penetration for your ranged weapon, it can be kind of hard because of the little brains or little eyes or whatever the hell it is that he sends towards you. Okay. I think that's about all I need to immediately cover right now. We'll have a crack at the boss again. Hopefully this fight will go well. Let's begin. Alright, there he is. He should teleport in. The eyes. Why am I failing to jump? Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, hardly the difficultest fight if you have the space gun. Although actually I'm not doing that great at the moment. But yeah, just move around the arena. Try not to get cornered. Try to always give yourself a jump or a drop to get out. And simple. That took us almost nothing. That's my second Brain of Cthulhu trophy now. Oops, that was a spike. Thorn. Get lots of tissue samples. Get lots of crimtane. And a bunch more healing potions as well, apparently. And that's about it. So really, really simple boss fight once you've managed to make yourself an artificial biome. This sort of artificial biome works also for the corruption. Is it the Destroyer of Worlds, or is that the hard mode version? Anyway, again, for that boss, you would do very much the same, except I would make it maybe 1 to 2 levels lower to the ground, because he needs to actually contact blocks to be able to move. But if you then make an arena, say at this level or this level, preferably this level, this one's probably a bit too low, his worm-like state, he will come up, hit this bottom level of the arena, and be able to jump a little bit above it, but not much, because he'll run out of momentum, at which point you can sort of hang around up here at this level of your arena, which should be down here, and shoot him or use whatever weapon you have that is appropriate. And he pretty much will almost never be able to get you, except for the few times when he gets a real good kick of momentum and gets high up into the stage. But then you can do something like go up into one of the corners to avoid him. It's pretty simple. I will create another world, force the corruption, choose to have it be a world with corruption, farm some of the necessary requirements to summon the boss, create an artificial arena, and show you that in a further tutorial. But that won't be attached to this because this is a Let's Play. In fact, I probably won't do that with this character. I'll do it with a different character, so that this character doesn't get any things that it shouldn't have that isn't part of this Let's Play. Yeah, once again, it's horrible that I lost the raw video. That was really silly. But that's what you get when you start experimenting with new editing software. I'm also now using different capturing software. Previously, I was just using the Windows Game Bar. I'm trying this one on OBS Studio. I have had problems with my USB mic because, as I've pointed out before, I am only using a USB headset to do all my recording. And in anything except the Windows Game Bar and Microsoft Teams, I've had problems with the microphone being too soft. Skype struggles, Discord struggles, and I don't know exactly what it is. There's a lot of stuff on the internet that claims that it's a Windows driver, something that changed from Windows 7 to Windows 8, and it's never really been repaired. I'm currently trying to troubleshoot through it, see what there is that I can do to fix it, as well as looking into better quality microphones, maybe an audio mixer, and I'll get an XLR microphone instead of just going the USB route. I was actually originally just looking at getting a Blue Yeti USB, because a lot of people have pretty good reviews of that as sort of an intro level microphone above something from a headset. But we'll have to see what we do now. If that USB thing is going to constantly be a problem, a basic audio desk, audio setup, audio mixer, I don't actually know what it is. I'm getting some help from some other tech forums where people are chiming in with their recommendations and how they do it, etc., etc. So we'll look into that, and maybe at some point in the future things will be better. As a result of changing my capturing, I am using OBS Studio now, or OBS. Is it OBS Studio? Is the studio the S? Anyway, I'm using OBS. It's pretty good, but it also suffers the same problem with the microphone being too soft. So I have to boost the levels a little bit in using the graphic equalizer settings. Well, not the graphic equalizer settings, it's really just a boost. So you might hear a bit more hiss on any sibilants. I sound a bit like I'm speaking parcel tongue. If you don't get that reference, it's a Harry Potter thing where he speaks snake language and everything is full of S's and hisses. Yeah, that should have probably hissed the hell out of the audio in this thing. But anyway, other than that, OBS Studio looks like a really good capture set. Not only can it capture these sorts of recordings, it has many other features, especially for live streaming, where you can have multiple scenes and you can switch between things to include, maybe jump to your chat and so on and so forth. None of which I currently need because live streaming is not really on the cards for me. Maybe sometime in the future, we'll see. But as a result, the audio quality of this video is going to be a bit compromised until I work out what to do about the issue to do with the USB microphone and the lack of volume natively. The other thing I could do was just lower the audio of the game heaps and heaps, but then I found that the audio of the game was so low that you couldn't hear the game at a volume where you could just barely hear my voice. Then I would have to remix the audio so that my voice was louder and the game audio was louder, and that starts adding so much distortion and picks up all the background noise in my room. I mean, my computer is pretty quiet because it's mostly water cooling, but the fans still do hum. I also get this weird thing where there's something in the case that's vibrating. I don't know what it is. Occasionally it vibrates. As well as, you can sometimes hear it, but I'll try and produce it now. I have a very clicky keyboard because I use mechanical keys. I think these are cherry reds, cherry browns. I can't remember. It's a Corsair K95? K68. Corsair K68 RGB. Very nice keyboard. I was very happy with it when I purchased it. It is quite, well, not quite old. It's about a year old now, maybe less. But yeah, it is a very nice keyboard for gaming. Oh, a blood moon. Guess what? You guys get a bonus today. I don't really have anything to do with a blood moon either. I've normally got I forget what they're called, crimson staff that makes a rain, and you can just stand in the doorways and open the door, throw a cloud out right there, and it'll just kill everything. And while you stand there and wait, and then you open the door on the other side and drop another cloud right here and wait for it to kill everything below, and then you open this door and drop a cloud, close the door. But yes, we don't have that now, so we will do this the manual way. But I do have a space gun, and the space gun is pretty awesome at this level of the game, so whatever. We'll get by. It is just a blood moon. Nothing special. The hardest thing in this is dripplers, and even dripplers aren't really anything to worry about at the moment. Just defeated his 50th zombie. Excellent. That'll give me access to a banner, which I can hang there. Increase my damage and resistance versus zombies. Defense versus zombies. It's not really a resistance. Yeah, Blood Moon, kind of handy. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to do about editing software. I can't even remember the name of the thing that I tried using, but it totally screwed up the audio. The audio from my small intro piece, which is the channel logo with the sound of birds in the, I believe it's the Amazon rainforest, which I obtained somewhere. It is Creative Commons license, so I've been using that. I will eventually make something to actually go that's better, where I'm not using other people's things. But again, I probably want a better microphone before I do that. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got to find some better editing software, something that works better, doesn't cause problems. Windows Photo Editor's little editor is fine for my purposes. It has limitations. For example, I can't do any sort of overlay text. I can only do, or I've only been able to find out how to do something like a title card. So an actual stop the video, put a big blue card up with some text on it. And that kind of works for the few times when I need to do things, but it also kind of doesn't work because I'd rather have an overlay on the actual video as it's going. So yeah, I have to look for better editing software, whatever that was. Maybe it was something to do with the encoding. I couldn't work out how to get it to use hardware acceleration. I couldn't get it to work out how to use GPU acceleration. So again, probably at the places where I am busy getting help with the microphone problem. With a little, oh, there's the bride. Oh, well, don't really care that much. That's just some vanity pieces. Hopefully those guys might have some recommendations as to editing software that I could and should be using as well, but who knows? At least one of them is a streamer, I believe. I don't think he records and edits videos. I think he just records streams and then uploads that. But we'll see. So yeah, things that need to change, things that need to be done. Again, I'm just starting. I'm at, what, like my 20th video or something, possibly even less. There's about 15 in the Let's Plays, a few other Let's Plays that went nowhere. I have been considering starting a fourth one. I said I wouldn't because I don't really need to have 4 Let's Plays on the go. But I've also kind of felt like playing Stardew Valley again. So, yeah, maybe there'll be some Stardew Valley Let's Plays soon too. Yes, Blood Moon. Don't really get much out of a Blood Moon. There's a few good vanity items. You do make a lot of money. I got another shackle, 3% damage, 2% critical. I'll take the 3% damage, I think. Not a huge difference, but it's a difference. Yeah, Blood Moon, nothing much to worry about. Goblin invasions, much more of a problem, because there's at least one goblin that can teleport inside your house. And then there's nothing else to really worry about until hard mode. At hard mode, this kind of base construction is actually pretty good at defending against pirate invasions. Because if you get this up to a 3rd level, so if I build another level there, the Flying Dutchman can't shoot you. The only problem you have is that it occasionally pops a pirate up onto... Oh, wow. Oh, that's the Dungeon Defenders guy. Dungeon Defenders? I think that's the name of the game. I actually own 1 and 2 of that. They're pretty cool as well. I don't play them much. In fact, I didn't play them much. I don't think I've played Dungeon Defenders 2 since it was still in early access. But I played Dungeon Defenders 1 a fair bit, and I did play Dungeon Defenders 2 a fair bit. I've never actually used any of the crossover stuff from this. I know there are some decent summons that one can get, but I've never done it. Something I could look into as part of this Let's Play, perhaps. give a demonstration of how that actually works. It'll be my first time seeing it, and maybe it'll be other people's first time seeing it if they pop into my channel just to see that. Who knows? Menacing Shackle, and that was orange, so that's clearly better than the one I've currently got. We'll, get up here and have a look at that and see what that is. Ah, zombies, stop spawning on the roof. That's not where one should spawn. Anyway. Yes, night is nearly over. That's the moon there, just about to go behind the minimap. So just a few more seconds worth of that. So the next major thing we'll be doing is I still don't have any sort of hookshot yet. So I have two options for that. I can try and get into the underlayer and go looking either for skeletons and hope for a hook, or hope for more gemstones, which I can use to make a hook shot. I'm more inclined to go for the jungle, just because I've had better success rates with farming piranha. And using them to get a hook and therefore make a hook shot has been very successful for me in the past, and I imagine it will be again. It's not as good a hook shot as some of the ones that can be obtained using gems. The ones using gems have slightly longer range most of the time, but I can't really explore the jungle without it. So that's sort of one of the next places I can go anyway. The jungle or the dungeon is really the next major step, considering where we are. We've defeated the first two bosses, we've defeated the Eye of Cthulhu, and we've defeated the Crimson's boss, the Brain of Cthulhu. So defeating Skeletron is pretty much the next one that would normally happen. Having defeated Skeletron, you then get access to the dungeon. But I find that defeating Skeletron, especially with this armor set and the space gun, is pretty easy compared to actually how hard the actual dungeon itself is. You normally don't get that far into the dungeon without dying. But we might do that, we might not. The underground jungle is really, really hard. The monsters in there are pretty hard, but they are better spaced out, and therefore lead to an easier time. Also, in the dungeon, where is it? Menacing, plus 4% damage. Oh, that's barely better than the one I've got now. Oh well, it is better than the one I've got now. While in the actual dungeon, one can obtain, while in the jungle, one can obtain jungle spores, which gives you a chance with some vines, which are also pretty easy to obtain there, the chance to get hold of the jungle-style hookshot, whose name I forget, but that's a really good hookshot. Not only does it have a really good range, it also shoots 3 hooks, as opposed to just one, allowing you to sort of crab walk your way up and down certain areas through the underground caverns, and the Crimson it's especially effective in. It's pretty effective in the Corruption as well. So that would be my preferred hookshot, hence why we'd go to the jungle. But we won't be doing that in this video. Another weird thing about... Oh no, it does have a record timer. I was going to say, I'm not sure if OBS gives me any idea how much the record timer, how long I've been recording for. But it does. We've been going for about 25 minutes so far, so nearly a half-hour video. That'll pretty much do it for this one, guys. Again, terribly sorry that somehow I've managed to lose one of my Let's Plays due to incompetence. I might look into making save game backups in the future, so in case that happens, I can just roll back and do it again. I do have a drive dedicated just to keeping these videos. Normally I keep the raw footage in one folder, and then any in-progress work in another folder, and then the uploaded video goes into a different folder. So I've been trying for good file management. I just failed on this last one. Didn't understand what it was I was doing when I deleted certain things. Didn't realize that I'd already moved the raw footage to somewhere, and somehow I managed to delete that. It's a shame. It happened. We can only move on from there. So, in the next one, we will be going to, I believe, the jungle to look for a hookshot. Fail in that, we will also be going to do a skeleton prone. So check back for that one. So if you like this video, click that like button. If you'd like to see more of this content, click that subscribe button. That'll make it nice and easy to find my channel. If you'd like to get notifications when I upload a new video, click that bell icon. Now, if you didn't like this video, there is that dislike button you can click. But if you do that, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave me a comment. Let me know what it was you didn't like so that maybe I could do something about it in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.